think about healthcare, you might first think about the expensive acute care that we read about in the headlines. But if you ask family physicians, they'll tell you that 90% of your healthcare is in the community. But really, who provides almost all of your healthcare? It's not doctors, it's not nurses or other healthcare providers like me. It's you. Real healthcare is self-care. The best predictor of your future health are the habits you practice today. So the 4 foundations of good self-care are what you eat, what you do, how you feel, and how you relate. What do you put into your body, both healthy and unhealthy things? What do you do with your body? Physical activity that supports all the activities of daily living and helps you do what's meaningful for you. How do you relate to other people? How do you connect at home, work, and school, and with society? And finally, how do you feel? How do you recognize your emotions and how do you manage them? And how do you live a meaningful life? The doctors who compose the divisions of family practice care for our patients in our practices, care for you individually, but now care for our community as a whole. And we're involved in other stakeholders in providing the best healthcare that you can have and to make you the best self-care provider. Let's talk about alarm symptoms, important symptoms that might indicate very serious, urgent conditions. I have a poster in my office, so my patients know I have this poster of alarm symptoms because doctors are always complaining that patients come in with a list of problems, and often the last problem that they didn't put on their list as you think the visit's over is something like, by the way, doctor, I've had this chest pain for the last week, and we're worried that it's angina, so we can't let them leave the room. We have to look after that and do a very careful history physical and get it looked after. Or the patient will say that they suddenly have blood in the urine, and then we have to check that out too. So I have the poster and it says, if you have any of these alarm symptoms, we have to put aside anything else that you brought in, unless it's another alarm symptom, so we can deal with this, because this could be an emergency. And if you get this at other times, we want you to call or go to emergency. So the first alarm symptom is pain that is unexplained or severe, colicky, like a gallbladder, like spasmodic, electrical, like a nerve, or persistent. So pain that's like that. We also want to know about that chest pain that we talked about, especially if it's associated with sweating, nausea, and spreading up into the neck or into the arms, because that could be a sign of a heart attack. If you have bone pain, especially if it's waking you up at nighttime, so that's not the same as arthritis. If you got pain deep in the bone, it could be a sign of a brain tumor or something wrong with the bone marrow. So the symptom B would be loss of function. So any unexplained changes in your speech, your memory, your emotions, how you swallow, your bowel movements, urination, the rhythm of the heart as you sense it, your vision or hearing, balance and coordination, anything that's a sudden change for you that's unexplained. We do want to check that out right away. And then those constitutional symptoms that we talked about earlier. So if you've had progressive loss of weight, we want to know about that. If your energy if you're wiped out, it's a big change. If you suddenly have no appetite, or if you're hot all the time or cold all the time, extra thirsty, swelling in your leg, those could be symptoms of something that we need to treat right away. Or suddenly you're really winded with just your usual activity. That's a significant change. And then growth, so things that are growing, like something that you find growing on your skin, mouth, in the breast, under your arms, in the scrotum. If the lymph nodes around your neck or around your arms are enlarging. If there's been skin changes. Now everyone has skin changes, and I'll probably tell you that it's related to sun. But anything that's been a change or not healing, we do want to take a look at, because there are skin cancers that we treat early. Particularly melanoma you want to treat as early as possible. So that would be a mole that might be long-standing, but changes in both its symmetry, its border becomes blurry or ragged. If its color changes, if it's uneven in color, if it becomes elevated, or if it's changing in size. So generally bigger than the end of a pencil eraser, we want to take a look at it. It's always educational, because we can also point out the things that are not so serious on the skin, and so it's always useful. And then finally bleeding, so blood in the urine, the sputum, the stools, and vomit, and of course melena. And any abnormal bruising, we want to know about that too.